So my future wife could successfully kidnap me. I went to the intersection where I was taken away in my past life and rolled around on the ground. Ha ha ha. I don't feel good. I don't feel good. The next second, men appeared from nowhere. Black-clad bodyguards carefully carried me into the car. Mission accomplished. Time to sleep. When I woke up, I looked at the familiar room. I rubbed my hands together. Sweetheart Shuyi, I've come for you. That was overdoing it. I secretly surveyed the room. According to my past life script, that woman was probably hiding somewhere nearby. I slowly sat up in bed, clutching my forehead, and muttered casually, "Ouch. Why is my head so dizzy?" I discreetly looked around. Everything was as quiet as before. I raised my voice. I feel awful. Am I dying? Was she not here? Impossible. She was nearby in my past life. Maybe I was not convincing enough. Fine. Time to perform. The Duan acting method. Showtime. I weakly fell back onto the bed, rolling around in apparent agony, but she still did not react. This is exhausting. Why has that woman not come out yet? So I simply rolled over and sat up. Maybe I had rolled around too long and lost my strength, or something else, but my left foot caught my right. I face planted right onto the floor. Damn. This floor is freezing. I quickly scrambled up. Nobody saw that, right? It would ruin my dashing image. HMPH fine. You still will not show yourself. Then I am leaving. Just as my hand touched the doorknob, my wrist tightened in someone's grasp. I fell straight back onto the bed behind me, looking at the woman beside the bed. Save me. Save you. How do you want me to save you? As I looked at the woman beside the bed, a teasing glint flashed in my eyes. See, you could not resist after all. Shuyi, I hurt. Where does it hurt? I pointed to my reddened hands and knees. I fell just now. Heh, that is it. Who brought me here? Of course I did. My A-Chen. Perfect. Just like my past life. No. Something seems different. Did I scare her by being too forward? I raised myself, ready to kiss her. Shuy's slender finger pressed against my lips. Oh, A-Chen is being so forward today. Should we not talk first? What is there to talk about? If I had known you would be like this, I would not have been so forward. Why do you not care about me at all? But she was clearly distracted. Shuyi gently stroked my face. The warmth beneath her hand felt unreal. A living A-Chen. She thought of how someone else had saved A-Chen in her past life. She wanted to keep A-Chen obediently by her side, but then he would never smile at me again. In her past life, she had kept A-Chen confined. After that, he kept avoiding her. Forget it. In this life, she would let him go. Shuyi reached out and opened the door. Go. I was instantly dumbfounded. What the hell? This never happened in my past life. What is going on? Why had this woman changed so completely? I stayed seated on the bed. Shuyi, why do you not care about me at all? I thought, growing anxious and frustrated. Is it not just being together? Just say it, and I will agree. Must we repeat the same old path from my past life? That is not right. With A-Chen's personality, how could he possibly stay here and say all this? She simply stepped forward and gave me a gentle push. I went with it and lay down. This woman really had not changed. That must have been the butterfly effect from my rebirth. How about you stay with me from now on, big brother? I will give you anything you want. I immediately smiled. Those eyes watched my reaction closely. Here it comes. This is the part one was waiting for. Sure. Since you are willing to take me in, I will stay and keep you company. If people find out I am with you, they will only envy my luck. I do not know how big Shuyi's company is. I only remember that the year I entered show business, she acquired an entertainment company and turned it into an industry leader in 3 years. She had not a single scandal in those 3 years. It also took me exactly 3 years to debut. Seeing me like this, she was completely stunned. Why is this nothing like I imagined? A-Chen, you said it. You are not allowed to regret it. When I woke the next day, she was already gone. Ouch, my poor back. That woman is seriously strong. I walked into the dressing room. Inside were men's clothes perfectly suited to my taste. I knew it. That woman talks tough, but she is soft-hearted. My phone rang. It was my manager, Yexing. Oh my god, Fu. In my past life, the entire internet turned against me. Only he kept finding work opportunities for me and trying to clear my name. But later, he somehow offended someone. His family suffered a terrible misfortune, and he suffered a mental breakdown too. In the end, he never recovered. Thinking of that, I closed my eyes. I was likely the reason those things happened to him. The call connected. Yexing's voice came through. You brat, I have only been away for 2 or 3 days, and you have already caused this huge mess. Do you know how cutthroat show business is? Or have you never seen it? How did you fall for their trap so easily? I am embarrassed to say you are my client. Back at the company, nobody believed in A-Chen. Only I thought he had what it takes. After so long, He finally had some momentum. Then this happened. A-Chen's road ahead will be even harder. I froze for a moment. Yexing had not even suspected me. His first thought was that I had been set up. I quietly listened to his lecture. I am sorry. I let my guard down this time. Sigh. Actually, I was pretending. I did not fall for it at all. Yexing paused in surprise. With his usual rotten temper, should he not be demanding every detail right now? As long as you know. Where are you now? Get to the company. Now. Once he confirmed I was alright, he breathed a sigh of relief. He hung up. Then he checked the news headlines. Rising young idol stops at nothing to secure opportunities. He scrolled down, and the name beneath it slowly appeared. After hanging up, I headed downstairs. I saw the butler respectfully open the car door. I thought that crazy woman had gone to work. I did not expect her to be waiting for me here. I took the passenger seat and met her gaze. A-Chen, where are you going? My manager asked me to come into the office. I have to make money and support the family, do I not? You are with me now. You do not need to work so hard. Isn't my money enough for you to spend? With that, she leaned closer. I looked at her. Oh wow. Shuyi is so beautiful. But we have not gone public yet. What if you decide you do not want me someday? Should I not prepare for that in advance? Shuyi stared at me for a long while. I will not. It took me a moment to realize what she meant and ask. You will not? She did not answer. Instead, she looked at me and spoke gently. Buckle up, okay? Shuyi, you are so good to me. But what if you do not want me someday? I will be all alone. I cannot bear it. Hearing that, she suddenly slammed on the brakes. There was a huge thud. Caught off guard, my forehead slammed into the windshield. Ow. That hurts. HMPH. We just got together. And you are already thinking about breaking up. What is it? Have I made you feel insecure somehow? Or have you already regretted it? I hurriedly shook my head. I do not regret it. How could I possibly regret it? I fought hard for this. Shuyi gave a sweet laugh. She started the car again and drove straight to the company entrance. I hurried to get out, but she grabbed hold of me and pressed a card into my hand. I was so moved I nearly cried. Shuyi, you are the best. I snatched it and quickly slipped it into my pocket. Shuyi, goodbye. Call me anytime if you need anything. I made a phone gesture. Then I turned and ran toward the building. Behind me, she softly said, tell me when you're off work. I will come pick you up. I nodded. Only when I reached the entrance did I realize something is not right. Have our roles somehow been switched? Confused, I turned around. She was standing there quietly watching me. For some reason, my heart settled at the sight of her. Yexing was already pacing anxiously outside the company. After what happened yesterday, a crowd of reporters had gathered downstairs. I need to stop Duan. I cannot let him say anything reckless. Then one of his staff sent word. Brother Xing, he is already in the office. Yexing was completely baffled. How did he get in? How did I not see him? The reporters did not stop him either. Yexing rushed upstairs in a panic. I was leisurely drinking tea. I glanced up at him. You can arrange some work for me now. Yexing looked at me. I have some inside information. Take a look. And about last night, you caused the company a lot of trouble. Your latest show has been cancelled. He sat down and scratched his head. The internet has a 3-second memory. Every time you miss an appearance, your popularity takes a hit. You did not have many opportunities to begin with. Now it is even worse. I pursed my lips. It is fine. The outcome is much the same as in my past life. But in my past life, this left me devastated. And I missed an enormous piece of news. The group is holding an open casting call next Tuesday. In my past life, the Duan family claimed they were comforting me and made me rest at home. They kept this news completely hidden from me, only letting me out after the cast list was finalized. I was even touched at the time. I never noticed. But later, every actor in that drama except the one who played the villain became a huge star. The first thing I will change in this life is making sure I attend that casting call. Yexing saw that I was not worried at all and frowned deeply. Pull yourself together. You barely get any chances to be on screen as it is. If you do not fight for it now, not even heaven can save you. He took out several scripts. See if there is one you like. Prepare to audition in the next few days. I shook my head. I already have a target. I am going to the open casting call in Linghai. Yexing's eyes went wide. Are you serious? I heard there will be at least 1,000 people at that casting call, competing for only a few roles. A lot of top and second-tier stars will be there. What can you possibly use to compete with them? I answered seriously. That is exactly why I have to go. Even if I have only a 1 in 1,000 chance, it is better than drifting through these ordinary scripts. After I said that, Yexing watched my retreating back, sighing with concern. Fine, if you want to try, go ahead. It cannot hurt to try one more time. I did not reply. I looked down and saw my phone ringing again. It was my father, Duan Mutian. I could not help but sneer. What happened in my past life? I have not forgotten a single bit of it. I grew up in an orphanage. Later, The Duan family came to me and said I was their biological son who had gone missing years ago. I treated them all with sincerity, but Duan Mutian never considered me family. When I was maliciously framed by rivals and smeared across the internet, not only did he refuse to clear my name, he used the pretense of comforting me to put me under house arrest. Afterward, he frequently dragged me to drinking banquets, claiming it was to expand my connections. He knew my stomach was weak, yet forced me to drink heavily every time. He destroyed my health bit by bit. My acting opportunities and public exposure were all secretly intercepted by him and handed to his other son. He utterly destroyed my once promising acting career, leaving me amid illness and abuse from the entire internet to fall into rock bottom. Every hardship I suffered in my past life was deliberately plotted by the Duan family step by step. I clenched my fist. The humiliation and resentment from my past life were carved deep into my heart. Because of Duan Mutian's calculated schemes, Shuyi in my past life tried to protect me and bore every baseless accusation alone. A woman so gentle and lovely met such a tragic end. How can I not hate the entire Duan family? The call connected. I cleared my throat. What is it? As expected, Duan Mutian put on an act of deep concern. I have seen what is being said online. I believe you. Where are you now? I will send someone to pick you up. I coldly refused. There is no need. The company is already handling it. I will not trouble you. Yexing watched me standing there like some big shot, while sounding pathetic, as if I had been driven into a corner. His expression was priceless. He muttered quietly, "Can you at least make it convincing? Even I cannot bear to watch." "What do you mean? Trouble? You are my son, the future hope of the Duan family. You are the only blood your mother left in this world. If I do not protect you when you are in trouble, who will?" He spoke with righteous conviction. I sneered inwardly. If he truly wanted to protect me, he would have cleared up those online rumors long ago. In the end, anyone can make pretty speeches. "Duan-Chen, are you listening?" I turned on the speakerphone. Duan Mutian kept up his phony concern on the other end. "The online backlash has been fierce lately. You must be miserable at the company too. Why not come home and rest for a while?" I answered cautiously, almost humbly. "There is no need for rest. Can I come back to pick up a few things?" After saying that, I took a huge gulp of the milk on the table. Duan Mutian smiled. "Pick up things? Once you have entered the Duan family, you should obediently do as you are told. Of course you can, but I do not think your company will give you any good roles anymore. Why not leave the entertainment industry and come home to inherit the family business?" Duan Mutian made it sound as though he desperately needed an heir and wholeheartedly supported his son's dreams. I immediately sounded delighted. "Really? I am already in this state. It will be hard for me to make a comeback. I might as well learn to run the company from you." Duan Mutian's expression froze. "Have you not always wanted to make it in entertainment? Do not force yourself. I have a dinner gathering tonight. Quite a few renowned directors will be there. I will take you to meet them." How can I possibly give the family fortune to him? He cannot possibly shoulder the Duan family's business. He does not deserve to inherit it. Yexing listened to the call on speakerphone and cooperatively kept quiet. He watched me give a perfunctory agreement. The moment I hung up, Yexing patted his chest. "A-Chen, do not tell me you are actually the young master of some wealthy family, out here experiencing ordinary life. If that is true, then you still have a chance to turn things around, right?" I tossed my phone aside. "I am just someone adopted by a powerful family. We will not rely on them. We will rely on ourselves. Understand?" I sounded as though I were lecturing a child. Then I secretly laughed at myself. Am I not relying on Shuyui's support right now? But that is all right. I will give everything I have to build a career of my own. Then it will be my turn to protect Shuyi. Duan Mutian will soon send someone to pick me up. Some important documents of mine are still at the Duan residence. But once I go there, it may be hard to get away. And at that dinner gathering, the Duan family will definitely try something. I considered how to get out safely, when I suddenly thought of my darling. Right, Shuyi can come pick me up. Before long, someone from the Duan family arrived. Unlike my past life, this time, Duan Mutian came himself. He did not want to attract attention, so he waited at the back entrance. Duan Mutian wore a fake smile. "Let us go. A lot of directors and producers are waiting." I silently berated myself. How had I failed to see his hypocritical true face in my past life? There were many people at the dinner gathering. I walked beside him, but my presence did not falter in the slightest. I narrowed my eyes. In my past life, Shuyi had me shut away at home at this time. Later, I escaped, and did indeed attend a gathering like this. I followed Duan Mutian's arrangement and drank that glass of wine. When I woke the next day, I was caught up in a flood of baseless negative rumors. They were cold and dismissive, tossing me an insignificant minor role. From then on, in some people's eyes, I became a newcomer they could easily suppress and control. "President Li wants to meet you. She has considerable influence in the industry. Go have a chat with her. I have always had your best interest at heart." I did not expose him on the spot. The moment I took the glass, my guard shot up. I knew this drink concealed a trap. Seriously again? Can they not come up with a new trick? I glanced around at the people watching the show, then smiled faintly. I handed the glass back to Duan Mutian and picked up the tea beside me. Sorry, President Lee. I am taking cephalosporins. I cannot drink alcohol. My dad loves me most. Let him drink this one for me. You are so generous. Surely you will not mind. I raised my teacup. I will toast you with tea instead of wine. Cheers. Duan Mutian grew anxious. After all, everyone knew what had been added to it. What is it, Dad? Do you not love me most? It is only one drink. You would not refuse, would you? President Lee's face turned cold. Young Master Duan, did you come to this gathering just to disrespect me? Duan Mutian's face darkened. What can one drink possibly do? I worked hard to get you this opportunity. Do not upset President Lee. I pushed the glass toward him again. So, what is wrong with you drinking it? So, you were lying when you said no one mattered more than your own son. The glass was forcibly shoved into Duan Mutian's hand. His teeth clenched in fury. President Duan, your son does not know how to behave. I will have to reconsider our partnership. President Lee said that, but her eyes held a calculating certainty. I immediately pretended to be worried. Please do not, President Lee. You have not even seen what I can do. I can definitely bring you benefits. President Lee was secretly pleased, yet she put on an arrogant front. Then will you drink? I looked painfully at the glass, then nodded as though resigned to my fate. Everyone waited to enjoy the show, but I walked over to the drinks table, took a freshly opened bottle of red wine, and poured myself a glass. My dad is holding the previous glass. It would not be appropriate to take it back. Let this glass be my toast to you. With that, I downed it in one gulp. Duan Mutian was so furious he nearly smashed his glass. I actually cannot hold my liquor, though I built up a tolerance in my past life. I have barely touched alcohol in this life. When I had a moment, I checked my phone. Shuyi had not replied. She was probably busy. Looks like I need to stall a little longer. President Lee nodded in satisfaction. I noticed something off in the way President Lee looked at me. My guard rose at once. There was probably a trap in that drink. But just as she was about to touch me, the door was suddenly shoved open. The woman's face was filled with displeasure and an overwhelming presence, bearing down on everyone. The room's once cheerful atmosphere fell silent in an instant. Everyone silently turned to the newcomer. Shock surged through them. It was President Gu. Although they had indeed invited Shuyi before, they had never expected the untouchable President Gu to actually show up. President Lee hurried forward with her glass. She said nervously, if we had known President Gu would honor us with her presence, we would have arranged this place properly. She mentally slapped herself. Such a perfect chance to win her favor, and I let it slip away. Someone nearby gave an awkward laugh. We truly never expected President Gu, despite her busy schedule, to make time for our dinner gathering. Shuyi ignored them from beginning to end. Her expression cool, she swept her gaze around the room. A-Chen was messaging me just now. He asked me to come. Where is he? I will punish myself with a drink. President Lee naturally noticed as well. She raised her glass and drained it. Please take the seat of honor. Someone tactfully led her to the center, the most prominent seat in the room. Shuyi drew every eye in the room. The atmosphere at the banquet instantly froze. Some guests whispered to those beside them in confusion. Who is that woman? Keep your voice down. That is Shuyi of the Gu family. Back then, she fell out with her family, left home, and built her business from nothing. In only 9 years, she grew powerful enough that even the Gu family fears her. That is right. I heard that when President Gu first started her business, she faced a great deal of suppression, but she relied on exceptional business skill and lawful operations to establish herself. Now the whole industry respects her. Of course, her strength speaks for itself. Duan Mutian watched the industry leaders around him gather around a single woman. This woman's status had to be extraordinary. He immediately approached with his glass, all smiles. Hello, I am the executive president of Duan Group. It is my first time meeting you. I have long admired your reputation. Hearing his voice, Shuyi instinctively turned to look at him. The face that had ignored everyone moments ago now carried the faintest smile. Duan Mutian was delighted. Shuyi looked at the man before her. How could this possibly be their first meeting? He was the one who had plotted against A-Chen at every turn, making him suffer endless humiliation and nearly ruining his life. Shuyi casually picked up the bottle of red wine beside her. Duan Mutian eagerly stepped forward. I never expected it. Out of everyone here, she actually chose me. She has good taste. Leon took the bottle and filled his glass. Duan Mutian raised it and drank it in one go. The people around them came over with polite greetings. Shuyi watched quietly as Duan Mutian drank glass after glass with the guest. Waves of discomfort rose in Duan Mutian's stomach. He rubbed his stomach. It felt awful. Leon said unhappily. What? Are you refusing to show President Gu respect? Duan Mutian had no choice. His stomach seemed filled with the burning taste of alcohol. Then he caught sight of me watching from the side. I stood there holding a cup of tea, calmly watching my woman, Shuyi. She was so cool, just as expected of the woman I chose. A-Chen, come meet her. It was obvious Duan Mutian planned to shift the trouble onto me. I was not afraid at all. I walked over with a bright smile. President Gu, this is my son. You two seem about the same age. Why not get to know each other better? People your age may have more to talk about. Duan Mutian smiled beside them, then failed to hold back a drunken belch. This was the perfect chance to let Duan Chen see that I truly have his best interest at heart. President Gu, my health is not very good. I cannot drink with you. My dad still seems quite energetic, though. Why not let him continue drinking with you? Without hesitation, I refused my own woman's request. The people around us gasped. This kid really does not know what he is dealing with. Does he know who he just refused? Yet the woman merely turned and looked at me. Then she slowly nodded. She actually agreed. A flash of anger crossed Duan Mutian's eyes. No, if I keep drinking like this, I will end up in the hospital soon. Duan Mutian looked troubled. The woman said nothing. Her pale fingers lightly traced the wine glass, idly turning it in her hand. The atmosphere grew stifling. Shuyi lounged lazily in her chair, watching me laugh without restraint. She was slightly dazed. Something was off. Why was A-Chen not angry? In his past life, he often fought with me over his father. I was feeling absolutely thrilled. But when I turned my head, my heart suddenly skipped a beat. Oh no, oh no. Would my Shuyi think I was being a bad son? Should I pretend to be a devoted son and go show him some concern? Shuyi quickly looked away. Seeing Duan Mutian hesitate without moving, Shuyi finally spoke. Since you cannot drink anymore, finish the glass on your table. Duan Mutian stared at Shuyi in disbelief, then turned to the equally shocked Li Yan. She knows everything. Shuyi ignored their silent exchange. Unable to withstand the pressure, Duan Mutian drank the glass. How boring. She raised her hand and studied her fingers, speaking carelessly. Surely you did not think you hit it well. I sensed something was wrong and rushed forward to support him. I am sorry. My dad has caused you trouble. Please do not hold it against him. He is getting old and does not know better. Shuyi watched me approach with a beaming smile. She has taken a liking to this young man. That glass of red wine is going to my head. My head is a little dizzy. She took the chance to support me and said gently, A-Chen, you know how to behave, right? Then come with me. A storm surged through Duan Mutian's heart. When did this so-called son of mine latch onto Shuyi? Li Yan's face turned white. What am I going to do? I actually tried to take advantage of President Gu's man. She will not retaliate against me, will she? Shuyi headed for the door. She did not spare anyone at the banquet a glance. She left behind a crowd of stunned onlookers. They had expected to see me publicly put in my place. But Miss Gu walked away. Just as Shuyi reached the door, she abruptly stopped. She turned to look at me, still standing in the banquet hall, and smiled sweetly. A-Chen, come here already. Coming right up? I happily hurried after her. I even looked delighted. Seeing this, the people around us sighed. Whose foolish rich son is this? He is about to meet his doom, yet he is still so happy. The woman forcefully shoved me into the passenger seat. Then she kissed me. What was she doing? A surprise attack. I hurriedly leaned back, shifting my gaze out the window. When Shuyi turned her head, she saw my sharply defined jawline. A-Chen, do not attend dinners like this again. Shuyi gave me an order in a negotiating tone. She lightly pursed her red lips. A-Chen has been drinking. Shuyi's expression darkened at once. She floored the accelerator. The alcohol was kicking in. My whole body felt heavy and dazed. Shuyi keenly noticed my condition. She slowed the car and drove as smoothly as possible. She openly watched me, her smile full of sweetness. I narrowed my eyes and secretly watched her. Was she charmed by my handsome face? Under her burning gaze, I began pretending to be drunk, whining softly. It is so hot. HMPH. A-Chen, do you know what you look like right now? Shuyi asked, lightly pursing her lips. As she spoke, she turned on the air conditioning. I turned to look at her in confusion. You are flirting without even knowing it, Shuyi said to herself. I kept up my confused expression, but inside, I was overjoyed. I am not. I shook my head, which made me even dizzier. Shuyi pulled over by the roadside and slowly leaned close to me. Do you know how badly I wanted to take you straight home just now? I suddenly asked something utterly untimely. Why did you treat my dad that way? A-Chen knew nothing about his past life. He did not know that the father he respected would ultimately destroy him. Should I try talking to him about this first? Shuyi suddenly fell silent. The car's flirtatious mood turned quiet. With that thought, Shuyi said, A-Chen, do you know, I looked into a few things today. Shuyi did not answer my question. Instead, she slowly told me about something else. I looked at her, confused. Silly boy, those spreading the rumors, along with all related false information, have been dealt with. My A-Chen is so kind. Wanna guess who wanted to hurt you? I shook my head. Like an obedient, adorable puppy. The person who harmed you was Duan Mutian. Shuyi softly revealed the truth by my ear. How could that be possible? I do not believe it. You must be lying to me. My dad treats me so well. How could he hire someone to hurt me? I shook my head frantically. The veins stood out on the hand gripping my seatbelt. Then I reached out and pushed the woman away, as expected of me. What a convincing performance. I silently praised myself. Shuyi had not expected me to believe her at once. She only wanted to prepare me for it. She kissed me tenderly. I sat in my seat, pretending to be a pitiful little thing cast aside. I knew Shuyi had no reason to lie to me. I had not spent much time with Duan anyway. At most, it had only been a few years. Shuyi's words planted a seed of doubt in my heart. Sitting in the passenger seat, I murmured softly, "No, my dad would never do that. He is my only family in this world." Shuyi reached over and stroked my head, comforting me. "Be good, A-Chen. You still have me." I looked at her cautiously. "Really?" The smile on Shuyi's lips grew more radiant. "Of course it is true. No matter what happens from now on, I will always stay by your side. Then will you abandon me?" I tightly grasped her hand, waiting eagerly for her answer. Shuyi looked at me with smiling eyes. "Of course not, but that depends on how you behave." "I will not disappoint you." I nodded eagerly, then lifted her small hand and kissed it. Then I continued sadly, "It seems that you are all I have now." Shuyi patted my hand reassuringly. Only then did she start the car again. Shuyi's eyes held deep satisfaction. My A-Chen can only have me in this lifetime. I sat there quietly, very pleased with my acting. My Shuyi is so easy to coax. But soon, I could not laugh anymore. She sped all the way home and took me straight to the bedroom. The next morning, a ringing phone woke me. I glanced at the caller ID. Well, is that not my so-called father? After drinking that wine yesterday, he still has time to call me today. What a pity. From the other end came a call of A-Chen. His voice was full of unease. I answered lazily. Mutian spoke with feigned concern. Why does this brat sound so relaxed? What exactly is going on between them? Where are you now? Miss Gu did not do anything to you, did she? His fake concern made me sick. Still, I pretended to be deeply moved. I never thought, Dad, you cared about me so much. She did not make things difficult for me yesterday. She only gave me a business card and told me to keep her company at her mansion sometime. Then she dumped me by the roadside. I said that because I wanted to tell him he had better give up on locking me away at the Duan residence. Mutian rubbed his still aching stomach, unable to believe it. I am in this state. Yet this brat is completely fine? She really did not hurt you? No. She treated me quite well, though a waiter told her someone had drugged the wine. Dad, did you know about that? I asked casually. Mutian's heart lurched. He stammered. What wine? What do you mean? I do not know anything about it. Did Lian not swear that no one knew? What happened? How did someone see it? That useless woman. What if Shuyi finds out through this so-called son of mine that others and I drugged A-Chen? That would be a disaster. As Mutian thought this, cold sweat began to pour down his face. Did President Gu say who it was? No. After saying that, she dumped me by the roadside, as though eager to distance himself. Mutian only said, "It is good that you are all right," then hung up at once. I looked at the disconnected call. In an excellent mood, I leisurely got up to wash up. Yet I felt a touch of regret. My Shuyi's bed was so large and soft. I would never tire of sleeping in it every day. What a shame. We had not made our relationship public yet, so I could not stay here long term. After washing up, I went to the living room. The butler stopped me. His tray held plain porridge and hangover soup. Mr. Duan, the young lady had this prepared for you, the butler explained. I had been planning to go out for breakfast. My Shuyi is so thoughtful. I drank last night, and my stomach was upset. Still, I looked slightly puzzled. Did Shuyi know I had stomach trouble? Shouldn't a proper breakfast include steamed buns and side dishes? Why serve something as simple as plain porridge? The butler watched me, hesitating slightly, before offering a thoughtful reminder. Mr. Duan, please rest assured, the porridge and hangover soup were both freshly prepared by the kitchen on the young lady's orders. Hearing that, my hand holding the hangover soup paused. This butler was certainly devoted to his job. I quickly finished it, since I had work to handle. Then I went straight to the door. The driver respectfully opened the car door. The young lady is busy with work today. She asked me to let you know that she cannot take you to work. She hopes you will forgive her. The driver conveyed tactfully. Inside, he felt a little disdainful. Was the young lady not a little too devoted to this man? He had never seen the president treat anyone this way, let alone be so humble. She was busy with work, with no time to drive him. Yet she still had to apologize. The massage seat relaxed both my body and mind. I nodded contentedly, opened my phone, and found her contact. I took a photo of myself sitting properly in the car and sent it to her. I am up. Another day of working hard. She replied quickly. Text me if you get tired. I will come pick you up. Between the lines, she had the air of a sweet, bossy little wife. It made going to work feel like I was merely sampling ordinary life. Satisfied, I sent a sticker that said, okay. Then I happily headed to the company. Fu Yexing had been in the office early, waiting anxiously. The company had issued him an ultimatum today. If he failed to develop a successful artist again, then he and every artist under him would have to pack up and leave. Fu Yexing thought it over and over. The others truly were unremarkable. After considering everyone, the only person he could count on now was, unexpectedly, Duan Chen. Thinking of my stubborn determination, Fu Yexing rubbed his temples with a headache. Please, heaven, let that Linghai casting audition end soon. So, Duan Chen will finally give up on it and focus on his work. Fu Yexing could not sit still. He stood, paced, then sat again. Just then, he heard someone speaking outside. How did things go with that boss yesterday? Was he satisfied with you? Did he give you a role? The speaker was Tang Feiyu. He had joined the company at the same time as Fu Yexing. Tang Feiyu was also a newcomer, yet he had already developed a somewhat famous artist. Fu Yexing knew full well that the entertainment industry was fiercely competitive. For newcomers to land roles, they either needed exceptional skill and connections, or they took certain improper shortcuts. Nearly every artist at the company with any fame had a patron or family backing them. Fu Yexing worriedly stroked his chin when he realized the vile thought he had just entertained. He harshly cursed himself. Fu Yexing, you cannot sacrifice Duan Chen's future for your own gain. A-Chen is going to become a star truly worthy of people's love. I should go see which productions still need actors. But after asking around, when he returned to the office, he found me lounging carelessly, playing on my phone on the sofa. He had barely sat beside me when Tang Feiyu pushed open the door. Seeing us both sitting there, vacant-eyed, he laughed without restraint. His tone dripped with mockery. Tell me, why is the gap between people so vast? We came from the same school and were classmates. Even a poor student like me has produced results. But a certain model student, what happened? Why have I not even seen a ripple from you? Fu Yexing clenched his fist, yet he could not argue back. He lowered his head again. That is the difference between a good student and a bad one. It is obvious now. A good student would never get smug over such a small achievement, nor would they be so arrogant in front of others. I slowly set my teacup on the table. Silently, I praised myself. I am such a clever little thing. I know how to stay healthy and talk back. Fu Yexing looked troubled. He really wanted to shut Duan Chen's non-stop mouth. Can we afford to offend Tang Feiyu right now? If the company has to make a decision later, we will be the first ones kicked out. That is because he has something worth flaunting. Tang Feiyu shot me a mocking look, then turned to Fu Yexing. The model student who once looked down on everyone was now so meek before me. What a rush. Do not celebrate too soon. Fortunes change with time. The wheel always turns. Before long, perhaps, all the things you flaunt will be worthless in someone else's eyes. I yawned and slowly put down my phone. On its screen was a novel page scrolling by. Then I will be waiting to see it. A manager whose artists are all hopeless cannot possibly achieve anything brilliant. Tang Feiyu's expression darkened, seeing how little I cared. He continued, my artists are truly dull. Every day, all they do is study acting and follow industry news. They are not like certain managers' artists who still have time to read novels. Fu Yexing could not hold back either. He coldly mocked him from the side. Whether they truly study acting, I think you know that yourself. Tang Feiyu snorted coldly, then turned and slammed the door behind him. Is he not just relying on financial backing? Fu Yexing cursed at his retreating back. If that support ever pulls out, he will be nothing but a stray on the street. As he spoke, he turned and sincerely advised me. Duan Chen, thank goodness you did not end up with him. Otherwise, he would definitely lead you into some shady business. You had better prove yourself. Work hard on your craft, or good opportunities will be hard to get. Of course, Fu Yexing had only been joking in that last part. But as he went on, the smile on his face suddenly froze. I sat on the sofa with one leg crossed over the other, looking down at the novel in my hands. There was a faint red mark on my neck. I had accidentally bumped it yesterday. Fu Yexing sharply inhaled. Duan Chen, tell me the truth. What is going on? Do not tell me you have gotten involved with someone lately. Tell me honestly what happened. The hand pointing at my neck slowly lowered. How could that be? I shook my head, without stopping my reading. Do not try to fool me. Those marks on you. Fu Yexing wore an expression that said, I may be naive, but do not lie to me. I sighed helplessly. I certainly did not do it for just one role. I was after a whole pile of roles. And that woman's sincere love. Fu Yexing looked as if his brain had crashed, unable to process it. Rather than keep hitting dead ends while waiting for a slim chance, it is better to first find a platform that truly recognizes my ability. I will start by gaining a foothold and work my way up, step by step. Fu Yexing braced himself against the nearby desk, feeling unsteady on his feet. Duan Chen, You fool. Come on, tell me who that person is. Do not tell me. It is that person who would not leave the trending charts. What roles could that person give you? The corner of my mouth twitched. I denied it. No. Do you think that person is worthy? Fu Yexing's expression shifted repeatedly. Is it one of the company executives? Fu Yexing began guessing to himself. Duan Chen never went anywhere and barely knew anyone. Who could it be? I thought it over. My Shuyi. This seemed to work with the company a little. Since she works with them, she could be considered an executive. So I nodded. Our manager? Fu Yexing asked tentatively. No. I denied it. He guessed again. Then the general manager. I denied that too. No. Fu Yexing's expression was becoming alarming. Do not tell me it is the executive president. The executive president. None of them. I kept shaking my head. Fu Yexing was slightly stunned. Then it is the chief executive officer? Fu Yexing's expression became impossible to describe. None of those. I considered Gu Shuyi's position in the company. Do not tell me she is a company director. Fu Yexing looked even more shocked than when he saw the mark on me just moments ago. I cannot take this. The room is spinning. A desk is not enough to hold me up anymore. Get me a bed. Quickly. I need to lie down. Listen. I thought for a moment. The chairman's position seemed, compared to my Shuyi's status, just a tiny bit lower, but there did not seem to be anything higher. I nodded reluctantly. Fu Yexing's face became a wild mix of emotions. His mouth twitching, he said, A-Chen, you either stay quiet or make a thunderous entrance. For a moment, Fu Yexing did not know whether to be happy or upset. He could only comfort himself as best he could. Forget it, forget it. Things were already like this. At least the kid had found someone powerful to lean on, and an exceptionally powerful one at that. I unhurriedly picked up my phone and resumed reading. Just then, someone knocked at the door. Several people then entered. Brother Fu. I looked up at them. They seemed somewhat familiar. Fu Yexing was surprised too, and slightly furrowed his brow. Why are you not training properly in the practice room? What are you doing here? They were Fu Yexing's other artists. They spoke with complete confidence. We came today to discuss terminating our contracts. Fu Yexing suppressed his surprise and spoke tactfully. You still have 3 years left on your contracts. Ending them early requires a penalty payment for you. That penalty should be a considerable expense. If an artist becomes a huge star, then a penalty fee is naturally no concern. But these people were clearly nowhere near stardom, especially as they were newcomers without talent or a fan base. You are looking down on us. The man in front suddenly sneered. I frowned and said, he's only trying to help you. This scene seemed familiar to me. Apparently, some third-rate company had been poaching talent everywhere. Quite a few people had fallen for the scam. Luckily, my scandals had already been exposed then. What an honor. That company had no interest in me, looking out for me, the person least qualified in this group. To say that is you. The lead man smiled mockingly, looking at me with utter disdain. With a useless manager like yours, I would love to see just how far you can go. Maybe by the time I am a top star, you will still be a total nobody. Fu Yexing was at a loss for words. From the sound of it, once he left me, he would immediately rise to fame and join the industry's biggest stars. What a ridiculous fantasy. I gave the artist a meaningful look. Whatever. If you want to leave, leave. No one is stopping you. As long as you pay the penalty, you can do whatever you want. The male artist sneered. It had better be. When I become famous, do not try to ride my coattails. Do not tell the public or the media that we ever had anything to do with each other. With that, he slammed the agreement onto the desk. Seeing they were determined to leave, Fu Yexing had no intention of stopping them. He took the agreement and led them straight to human resources, stamping it, signing, and paying up, all in one smooth motion. Seeing the amount of the penalty, Fu Yexing frowned deeply. These people had been with the company for so long, yet they had not earned the company much money. The company had wanted to fire them long ago, but they were under contract, so it had no choice but to put up with them. Now they were breaking their contracts and paying penalties. The company would be delighted, but now that they had left, the company would probably assign me more newcomers. After seeing them off, Fu Yexing sat at his desk, looking miserable. Truly capable people who could make it big these days were few and far between. If they sent more people over, they would likely end up just like the ones who left. Hearing that, I turned to Fu Yexing and asked confidently, I have an idea. Would you be willing to hear it? Fu Yexing sat beside me, all ears. If you are willing to trust me, then from now on, I alone can secure your future. Fu Yexing scratched his head. But you need to understand, I do not have any impressive connections. All I can do is gather as many opportunities for you as possible. That would be a major disadvantage for your career. Fu Yexing was not wrong. After all, that was standard practice at the company. Whenever someone achieved even a little success, the company would assign a more capable and talented manager to ensure the artist's future stays on track. But after the trending scandal in my previous life, I could not trust anyone at the company again. I shook my head. Brother Fu, I am only a newcomer who knows nothing either. Besides, I trust you. If you are willing, we can draw up the contract right now. Yexing knew his own limits. Few people would agree to a contract like this, unless the other party was truly a top-tier manager. Duan Chen was ambitious. Could my skills truly match that ambition? But? No more buts. I cut him off. I only have one question. Are you willing? Yexing saw how resolute and sincere I was. He nodded without hesitation. Then here is to a brilliant future for us. Yexing was not as decisive inside as he appeared. He had not expected Duan Chen to trust him this deeply. I breathed a sigh of relief. Yexing was capable. The rankings and awards he won in school made that clear. Besides, Yexing had qualities other managers lacked. He simply was not bold enough when handling problems. I suddenly recalled something from my past life. I stood and shook his hand. Then, here is to a successful partnership. We headed out to draft the contract. The moment we reached the door, I met a pair of eyes head-on. I lowered my gaze and rubbed my nose, saying nothing. Yexing reacted quickly. He stepped in front of me and greeted her with utmost respect. I noticed several company bigwigs standing behind Shuyi. They followed her with great deference. Shuyi casually glanced at me, then walked away coldly. Watching her retreating back, Yexing exhaled in relief. President Gu has such an intimidating presence. His voice grew quieter because he noticed the woman, who had been about to turn the corner, suddenly looked back this way. I was not speaking loudly either. Yexing wondered to himself. My mouth twitched. Why are you looking at me? Will you not even leave me alone at work? Yexing, go draft the contract first. I turned and told Yexing calmly. I am going to the restroom. I will be right back. Then make it quick. Yexing nodded. Then he turned and went upstairs to print it. As I passed the emergency stairwell, a small hand pulled me inside. I knew my Shuyi missed me. I made my expression look a little panicked and let her pull me in. Shuyi gently caught my wrist. I was completely overwhelmed. Someone could pass by outside. No one will. Shuyi did not stop moving. There is a group of executives standing at the corner. What blind fool would come this way? She leaned close and whispered to me. A moment later, she turned and pushed the door open to leave. I immediately saw several company executives waiting at the corner. For a moment, I did not know whether to approach them. Why are you coming from over there? Leave now. Is this where you belong? News that President Gu was here must have leaked, drawing everyone's attention. Miss Gu is a highly sought-after prize. Countless people want to curry favor with her. This kid is probably one of them. Do you think President Gu has some private business? Could she be constipated? Otherwise, why has she not come out for so long? The executive spoke neither too softly nor too loudly. I nearly stumbled as I turned the corner, wondering whether I had heard wrong. So I hid around the corner and eavesdropped. If that does not work, call a doctor. Is that necessary? I was too embarrassed to listen any longer. The lofty Shuyi was being misunderstood like this. It was hilarious. Shuyi came out right after. Seeing her expression, the executives thought, just look how difficult that must have been. President Gu, you work so hard every day. I have some premium wellness tea at home. I will have some prepared for you shortly. One executive flattered her from the side. Shuyi considered it. A-Chen has seemed exhausted lately, and he stays up late often. Some wellness tea could do him good. Then I will gladly accept. Exactly. That is what you call the right remedy. The executive immediately looked honored beyond belief. People who know what to say really are different. One sentence and President Gu was already pleased. Everyone around him looked utterly envious. I pushed open the door and returned to the office. A-Chen, was there someone you knew among those executives? Otherwise, why did you turn around and leave at once? And why were you gone for so long? Since we would be working together from now on. I did not hide it. I nodded decisively. Yexing sucked in a sharp breath. That group who came today, aside from Miss Gu, the rest were all men. Poor A-Chen. I do not know what his agent was thinking, but I am pretty happy right now. Yexing looked at me. He seemed to be in a good mood. Everything you are putting in now will one day be reflected in your achievements. Yexing handed me the contract. He expected me to study it carefully, but I only flipped through a few pages. With a swift stroke, I signed my name right away. Yexing was stunned. Duan Chen was far too trusting. Are you not worried the contract terms might hide conditions unfavorable to you? Of course not. Since you are willing to work with me, we are on the same side. I handed the contract back to him. Naturally. Yexing nodded. I looked at him. That settles it. I will read this for a while. When it is time for the audition, remember to sign me up. I waved my phone. Yexing frowned slightly. At a time like this, should you not be working on your acting? Reading a novel seems like a waste of time. I shook my head. This is Linghai. There are bound to be differences between the script and novel. There will be. I plan to read the original novel first, to get a feel for the plot, then compare it with the script. I idly scrolled through it on my phone. The author truly was talented. The novel conveyed its worldview and values vividly, and its plot was beyond reproach. A beat later, Yexing nodded. He prepared to head out and find me some good scripts. But when he reached the door, he finally realized something was not right. I had been following Duan Shen's lead all day. Usually, he was the one following my lead. It seemed Duan Shen had ideas of his own now. This old man couldn't be prouder. I sat there, reading the novel with some boredom. As someone who had traveled between worlds after death, I had lived through so many worlds. What I had experienced was far stranger than anything in this novel. To me, this novel truly was boring. I scrolled through my phone. Online novels these days all seemed alike. Their plots were much the same. Whenever something fresh and unusual appeared, it would become a hit almost overnight. I took stock of the assets I had on hand. Maybe I could write something too. I casually opened my computer, found a website online, wrote a few drafts, and uploaded them. Then I shut the computer. At this point in my previous life, I should have been at the hospital, caring for my father, who had ruined his stomach with alcohol. Right, I still had belongings at the Duan residence. I had to get them back. I slipped out of the company unnoticed and hailed a cab to the hospital. Duan Mutian had always loved extravagance. He was staying in the hospital's finest suite, and he would have hired 10 caregivers if he could. I knocked on the door, then pushed it open and walked in. A-Chen, you have no idea how worried I was about you in here. I was terrified that person would hurt you. The moment Duan Mutian saw me enter, his eyes immediately brimmed with tears. His worried act was rather convincing. I stood in the doorway, watching his performance with a smile. Did he think I did not know? Before I came in, he had been boasting away to the caregiver. In my previous life, I would probably have rushed over to comfort him instead. Thinking of that, I approached him, pretending to be overcome with guilt. Dad, am I not standing here safely before you? Duan Mutian tried to read something from my face, but all he saw was remorse. He patted my hand. I was only worried about you. Duan Mutian suddenly clutched his chest and coughed violently. He looked terribly weak. Alcohol had wrecked his health. I instantly looked devastated with guilt. It is all my fault. I should not have come at a time like this. I have made your condition worse again. As I spoke, I took out a bank card. Dad, I have some money here. Use it to buy some supplements. Duan Mutian relaxed. I knew my worthless son would not grow distant from me. It seemed he still did not know the truth. His eyes flashed with contempt as he looked at the card in my hand. With an expression full of emotion, he said, "What are you talking about? Our family is not short of money. That little money you earn at work, you should keep it for yourself. There must be a good few tens of thousands on that card. After all, since this brat started working, he had never given the family any money. He must have saved at least a little. He had planned to let the caregiver praise him a little, before accepting it naturally. Instead, he saw me look as though I had suddenly understood. That is true. The Duan family is so wealthy. You surely would not care for this little amount I have." I sighed, then slipped the card straight into my pocket. "Then I will put it away." Duan Shen looked utterly heartbroken. Duan Mutian was dumbfounded. "President Duan, I never knew your son was so devoted." "Young Master Duan, do not worry. President Duan will be discharged soon." The caregiver beside them was moved. Duan Mutian felt sickened. He gave to hollow laughs. "Dad, there seem to be plenty of people caring for you. So, you probably do not need me. Can I go straight home tonight?" I asked in a pleading tone. Duan Mutian's eyes flickered. "Of course you can. That is your home too. Go back whenever you want. Once he is there, have the bodyguards lock the doors, and do not let him leave." I nodded happily. Then I went downstairs, took a cab, and returned to the Duan residence. Before me stood a lavish mansion. Bodyguards and servants were everywhere at its entrance. Anyone passing by would feel inferior. Yet I felt nothing. After all, I had even lived in palaces while completing missions. I pushed the door open and strode inside. The servants by the door found it strange. Well, did the sun rise in the west? Where did that insecure young master go? The butler gave me a slight nod. There was not a shred of respect in it. The young master clearly did not take me seriously. The servants watched as my carefree manner from moments ago gave way to a dejected expression. I came back to get something. I lowered my head and stared at my toes, pretending to be timid. "Of course you may." The butler nodded. A servant behind him scoffed disdainfully. "HMPH, all bark and no bite." I thought he might have changed after spending months outside, but he is still the same. I walked inside. The butler looked down on me even more. "If you have no further instructions, I will get back to work. President Duan still needs me at the hospital." The butler did not wait for my answer. He simply turned away. "There is food in the refrigerator. If you are hungry, you can make something for yourself." Hearing that, I glanced at the butler. How could there possibly be ingredients in the refrigerator? The Duan family bought fresh ingredients and cooked them daily. Just then, a chef came out of the kitchen, carrying 2 plates. Each held Australian lobster. Isn't my father sick? How can he eat seafood? I narrowed my eyes, my gaze sweeping over the 2 plates. The butler said to the chef, I am going to the hospital today to look after President Duan. Keep these for yourself. The chef immediately agreed with a smile. The young master of the Duan family. Yet I had to cook lobster myself just to feed the chef. This was the butler's usual fare. When I was treated this way in my past life. What did Duan Mutian say again? Oh, he told me to get used to it. Come to think of it, Duan Mutian must have wanted to suppress me from the very beginning. But at the end of the day, the butler was only a servant. I was still a young master of the Duan family. Did they really think I had no temper? I looked at the increasingly insolent butler and asked who had purchased these ingredients. The chef froze at the question, but dutifully answered, usually, when it comes to buying groceries, I do the shopping. So that means the Duan family paid for all these ingredients. The butler frowned in displeasure. The chef realized he might have said the wrong thing and fell silent. I walked over and looked at the 2 plates of lobster. Since when did the butler become part of the Duan family? Has the Duan family always been paying for his meals? I already knew the truth. After all, I had been confined in the Duan residence in my past life. The butler loved buying expensive ingredients whenever he pleased. I only have them once in a while. The Duan family should not mind. I have worked here for decades. He may be the master's son, but he has not been back long. He is nothing to fear. Oh, you really are something. Your occasional meal costs thousands? Fine, let that slide. But as the Duan family's young master, I have to cook my own meals. Anyone unaware would think I was this family's servant. The butler gets chef-made lobster, while I, the young master, cook instant noodles myself. There is not even a side dish. You could at least leave me an egg. Still holding the plates, the chef felt his scalp tingle with dread. Why not leave these for the young master? We did not know he would return today. If we had known, we would definitely have saved these for you, young master. Meanwhile, the butler stared intently at my defiant expression. Interesting. You are giving me what even the butler will not eat. You truly think highly of me. I narrowed my eyes and stepped forward. I took the lobster directly from him. The chef could not help sighing in relief. He even secretly shook out his aching wrist. Look at him, calling himself some young master. Mockery flashed in the butler's eyes. Yet he still has to eat the leftovers we will not touch. I glanced at them and whistled. A golden retriever came racing toward me. I set the plate on the floor and motioned for the dog to eat. Then I bent down and patted the golden retriever's head. You. The butler's face darkened. I looked at him with narrowed eyes. Me what? This was bought with Duan family money. As a Duan family young master, do I not have the right to decide what happens to it? Who are you? A servant, to tell me what to do. What kind of young master are you? You came in looking like a coward. So how has your personality changed so suddenly? That does not sound like something he would say. The butler was beside himself with rage. I crossed my legs and propped them on the coffee table, wearing the smug air of someone who owned the place. I ordered, go prepare my dinner. I am hungry. My tone was casual and commanding. No spice. I am taking care of my health. As I spoke, the suggestive marks on my neck were fully exposed. The butler's face instantly darkened. Why is he so arrogant after coming back today? Has he made something of himself outside? Does he really think no one can control him now? Dream on. Who knows how long the person he latched onto outside will last. Once the novelty wears off, he will come back and bow his head again. HMPH. The chef stood there, hesitating, watching the butler's expression. The butler said nothing, so the chef did not dare move. It seems I need Dad's permission first, just to command a servant in my own home? What are you standing around for? Hurry up and do as the young master says. I picked up my phone, pretending to agonize over it. If he reported such a trivial matter, he would surely be the one scolded. He might as well give me what I wanted. The butler spoke with a grim face. Satisfied, I put away my phone. In an irritating tone, I said, wouldn't it have been easier to do that from the start? Honestly, you made me waste a cent of mobile data. Butler, remember to reimburse me later. The butler's face turned even darker. I rose to my feet and headed straight to the bedroom. I had never lived here in my past life, but I still remembered where my room was. On the second floor, beside a window, with an excellent view. Warm in winter and cool in summer. The bright, dry, well-ventilated room. I pushed open the door and entered. There were obvious signs that someone had been living there. A luxury sofa and projector, antique ornaments, and a solid wood bed. Wow, my room. Father really went all out for me, did he not? I walked in, feigning delighted surprise. I had the antique vase displayed in the cabinet, picked it up, and toyed with it. This vase is lovely. Then I casually set it aside. The butler followed me inside. The moment he saw me pick up the priceless jade pendant, he panicked. Young master, you cannot touch that. President Duan treasures these antiques like his own eyes. If anything gets scratched or damaged, he will fly into a rage. I turned around in confusion. You mean this? The butler strode over, reaching to take it from me. In his rush, he failed to notice the corner of the nearby table. The vase I had casually set down fell to the floor and shattered. The butler turned back in disbelief. I casually returned the jade pendant to its place and said regretfully, "What a shame. Such a beautiful vase, broken just like that." Butler, you were far too careless. Cold sweat ran down the butler's back. That vase was the most valuable item in the room. President Duan showed it off to guests every time, and I had shattered it. This is not my fault. If you had not been handling things recklessly, the vase would not have broken. The butler panicked. After all, he feared being blamed for it. That is a strange thing to say. This is my room. Naturally, everything in it belongs to me. Is it wrong for me to touch my own things? I looked utterly puzzled as I picked up a jade ring and spun it around my finger. Besides, you could have simply told me at the door not to touch anything. Instead, you ran over and broke the vase, and now you are blaming me. I let out a laugh, washing my hands of it completely. The butler felt as if his heart were bleeding. I casually looked around. Then I frowned and said, "Why does my room look like someone has been living in it? It was not you, was it? After all, even the chef answers to you and ignores my orders, so I suppose it would not be strange for you to live here too." The butler completely panicked. Chen really had a lethal tongue. If President Duan actually believed him, I would be utterly finished. Sigh. I had planned to stay here tonight, but judging by this, there is probably no place for me here. I should take my things to the company apartment instead. I swept a disdainful gaze around the room, suppressing my displeasure. Where are my things? This is my room, yet my belongings are not here. I walked over and patted the butler on the shoulder. Why are you spacing out? No spacing out on the job. I asked you a question. Where are my things? In the guest room. Feeling threatened, the butler forced out the words. I gave a low laugh. My room and my belongings were thrown into a guest room. It seems the Duan family never, not once, considered me family. The butler looked at my quietly imposing expression and froze where he stood, with a heartbroken look on my face. I made my way to the guest room, found my belongings, and packed them into my bag. Then I turned to leave. Only then did the butler remember his assignment. Young master, I am sorry. It was all my fault. This has nothing to do with President Duan. One apology cannot make up for the harm you have done me. The butler certainly knew when to bend. One moment, because of me, he was suddenly saddled with a debt worth millions. The next, he could still speak to me so calmly. I leave myself to your judgment, young master. The butler quickly arranged for security to guard the estate gate, preventing me from leaving alone for now. I was not in a hurry. I still had my phone. After all, I put on an act and walked to the entrance, smiling at the large, burly bodyguards blocking my way. Butler, this is rather unfair of you. Why have you sent so many people to stop me? What is the meaning of this? I turned to look at the butler. Young master. You know, I am only a servant. The butler hoped that when President Duan returned, he would see how dutifully he had done his job and spare him from punishment. I was not as everyone expected. Panicked. Instead, I took out my phone and made a call. I even put it on speakerphone. Sorry, the number you have dialed is powered off. The smile slowly faded from my once arrogant face. Then I looked around helplessly. That idiot. Does he really think he can ask his father for help? President Gu does not have time for him right now. After all, President Duan was the one who ordered him locked up. The butler looked smug. I looked pleadingly at the butler. I will not tell my father about this. I will say Da Huang did it. There is still work waiting at the company. Can you please move aside and let me out? Da Huang was the golden retriever. Afraid my act was not convincing enough, I pinched my thigh hard. That did it. Tears nearly fell from my eyes. My apologies, young master. To keep you from causing any more trouble for the time being, please return to the guest room and rest. The butler motioned for the bodyguards to step forward, looking triumphantly smug. I made another call. This time, I deliberately did not use speakerphone. The call was answered quickly. My voice sounded utterly helpless. Did you not say we should have a drink together last time? Come pick me up from my house. I will drink with you. Shuyi pressed her lips together. Okay. Then she immediately hung up. I stood up, my every step seemingly full of joy. Then I was escorted back to that all too familiar guest room. At some point, a heavy gold chain had appeared around my ankle. It weighed heavily. I suddenly found myself rather ridiculous. The course of events was exactly the same as in my past life. Yet I felt much more at ease this time. It must have been because Shuyi was here. The butler watched as I gradually gave in, then snorted coldly. He locked the guest room door from the outside. Leisurely, I pulled several bags of snacks from my bag. I ate them with great satisfaction. I had not eaten snacks like these since being reborn. They were quite good. My stomach had always been delicate in my past life. The doctor had warned me never to touch these things. Still, I should not eat too much of them. A trace of regret crossed my eyes. I also carefully inspected the guest room. I was shut in this familiar room again. But this bag was not as exquisitely prepared as the one she made for me. At that thought, the corner of my mouth twitched. Trapped again. Luckily, someone was coming to save me this time. I let out a melancholy sigh. Suddenly, neat, synchronized footsteps sounded outside. I quietly shoved all the snacks beneath the bed. Then I prepared to play a pitiful, innocent victim. Just as the butler prepared to call President Duan with his report, he heard a commotion at the entrance. He immediately went to see. A huge group of black-clad bodyguards escorted a woman inside. Her high heels struck the floor, creating an invisible pressure. At first glance, the butler knew she meant trouble. And you are? Shuyi stopped. A bodyguard behind her stepped forward, his presence intimidating. One hand rested at his waist as he glared at the butler. Where is he? The butler was stunned. Who in the Duan family had offended someone this powerful? Do not look at me. I am only a butler paid to do a job. The servants nearby did not dare step forward. What if they brought trouble on themselves? It was not worth it. That presence alone made her look dangerous. Shuyi ignored the butler and walked straight into the living room. She did not see me there. The displeasure on her face deepened. Then the sound of someone pounding on a door came from nearby, along with a frantic male voice. Shuyi, is that you? Hearing my voice, Shuyi headed over, overwhelmed by her presence. The butler had no choice but to follow. I heard the woman approaching and deliberately rattled the restraint around my ankle. Shuyi, have you come to save me? It is me. A-Chen, step back. Move farther from the door. I did exactly as she said. All right. The bodyguard used a tool to force open the door. Are you not afraid of the Duan family's retaliation? At those words, Shuyi laughed. That is an interesting thing to say. Was A-Chen not the one unlawfully imprisoned? She looked at me trapped behind the door, a chill flashing through her eyes. Other than me, no one gets to bully A-Chen like this. The butler could not recover from the shock for a long while. The woman before him made him feel profoundly threatened. Was this woman tired of living? I was a little worried that Shuyi might do something reckless. No. I am a law-abiding, upstanding citizen. My Shuyi has to be the same. Shuyi, I called softly. Shuyi came back to her senses and walked in. She looked at my disheveled state. This will not come off. I began lying through my teeth. When I was on missions, I specifically studied restraints like this. Forget picking this lock. I could make a new one without much trouble. Well, I had to give my Shuyi a chance to save her hero. Did I not? The bodyguard behind her caught on immediately. He brought the butler over to open it. The butler shook his head in terror. The key is not with me. I cannot open it. If nothing else works, try using brute force to break it open. I am not a strong man. There is no way I can break it. Shuyi turned to look at me. The cold smile still in her eyes sent a shiver through me. Was I a little too forceful? A-Chen seems a little afraid of me. A-Chen, come here. Shuyi thought to herself. Obediently, I walked over to her. A-Chen, I may have been too anxious today. I should not have acted so impulsively. But when I saw you trapped, I truly could not stay calm. I am usually very well behaved. Was this really the formidable heiress of the Gu family? I nodded, pretending to be confused. Shuyi is the best behaved. I have always known that. The bodyguards looked at one another, at a complete loss. What exactly made her seem like a good woman? Shuyi nodded happily. I grinned. I know Shuyi only wants what is best for me. The bodyguards watched our dynamic with strange expressions. Sorry, but hey, which one of them is crazy? I glanced down at my ankle, then whistled. Huang eagerly ran over from the living room, circling around me. Smiling, I patted his head, then pointed at my ankle. Huang immediately bit through the chain. Then he looked curiously at the chain on the floor. Inside the little dog's head were some very big thoughts. Why does this look so much like the chain that ties me up? Is this human a pet too? Human, you are free now. I looked proudly at Shuyi, beaming. Shuyi wrapped an arm around my waist. The bodyguard driving thoughtfully lowered the privacy partition. Shuyi sighed softly. A-Chen, why did you go back to the Duan residence? My gaze darkened as I sat beside her. I still had some things at the Duan residence. Let me tell you, that butler was awful. He made me cook instant noodles for dinner, while he ate Australian lobster. Then he locked me up. I did not want the Duans to know that you and I are involved. It would only cause you trouble. I looked despondent, as though every word was for her sake. If it concerns you, there is no such thing as trouble. They unlawfully detained you. That is against the law, Shuyi said lightly, knowing what she was thinking. I quickly said, "It is okay. With you protecting me, I will not give them a second thought. You should not do anything either. It would harm your reputation." I covered her small hand with mine, interlacing our fingers. "Let us just be happy together like this." Shuyi smiled as she looked at our clasped hands. A-Chen really is a big liar. He was clearly not scared at all before, yet he pretended to be panicked for me. He did not even wipe the snack crumbs from his mouth. That rascal just wanted me to feel sorry for him. But what can I do? I love him too much. Shuyi reached out with a fierce look, wiping the snack crumbs from the corner of my mouth. My world used to be cold and empty. Only after meeting A-Chen did it have light. I looked at her in confusion. Did I say something wrong just now? The car returned to the old residence. I sat at the dining table. I had just finished eating when I turned and saw the woman behind me, dressed in pajamas. I swallowed hard. I need to use the restroom. Is A-Chen trying to run away? No. Good. As long as you are not. I helped you so much today. You should thank me properly, should you not? Night had fully fallen. There was no one beside me anymore. Shuyi was very busy with work. After all, she had to run such a large company, so she did not sleep for long. Before returning to the office to handle work, at ease, I opened the wardrobe and found an all-black outfit. Then I quietly climbed out the window, avoided the patrols, and secretly returned to the Duan residence. I lightly tapped on the butler's bedroom window. The butler jolted awake. A chilling dread came over him. Smiling brightly, I waved at him. Who are you? What do you want? I looked at him casually. I was thinking about how to keep what happened today from getting out. The butler instantly understood what I meant. Young master, do not worry. I will never tell anyone. Please, all of you, spare me. The butler's desperate begging looked rather comical to me. I laughed aloud. I narrowed my eyes slightly, looking down at the butler on the bed. Butler Lee, you look truly pathetic right now. I could not help recalling my past life. When I was hospitalized with cancer, this butler brought me leftovers, then even threw them away rather than let me eat them. His words were exactly the same as before. The butler trembled violently. Young master, this has nothing to do with me. I was only following orders. The real culprit is someone else. I raised an eyebrow. Butler Lee, I believe that in this world. I looked at the terrified butler and continued. But do not panic. How could someone as kind as me possibly kill you? Is that not right? I sighed, then swiftly seized his wrist. The butler's whole body went numb. He could not move at all. His phone fell to the floor. Butler Lee struggled desperately. Young master, please spare me. I will tell you who ordered it. I raised one finger and shook it. No. The mastermind is someone I will investigate myself to keep you from causing trouble. My apologies. With a smile in my eyes, I patted his shoulder. Enjoy your stay in the hospital for a while. You can keep Dad company too. I climbed straight out the window and left. I considered where to go next. Maybe I should visit my Shuyi's company. I did not think I had ever been there. From a dark alley nearby, a terrified male voice rang out. What are you doing? I stopped and headed back. A suspected kidnapper's voice rang out. Someone paid a fortune to do serious harm. Oh. A fortune, you say? My eyes lit up as I walked into the alley. My stamina might be lacking right now, but dealing with a few ordinary thugs would be easy enough. The man facing me brightened at once. Please, help me. Someone is trying to kill me. Please call the police. The kidnapper turned and warned me. Hey, do not stick your nose where it does not belong, or you will not even know how you died. The man quietly backed away a few steps, clearly looking for a chance to escape. I looked at the burly men in front of me and wisely stepped aside. Relax. I have never liked meddling in other people's business. I have just never seen anything like this. So I came in for a look. HMPH. The kidnapper snorted coldly. The hostage's expression turned sour. Why did some bystander have to show up now? The man's face suddenly seemed familiar to me. So this was the face worth a fortune. The man spoke to stall for time. At least let me know why I am dying. Can you tell me? Who wants to hurt me? I watched with interest. No harm telling you. You offended Miss Gu. This gossip had landed right on my doorstep. I examined the man closely. He looked average, definitely not as handsome as me. I had only come to watch the drama, but I was stunned. He did not look like anyone important either. Why would Shuyi have a conflict with someone like him? I was getting annoyed. Why were so many people trying to smear my Shuyi? What? When did I ever offend Miss Gu? You will have to ask yourself that. Everyone knows I work for President Gu. The kidnappers could not be bothered to hear more of his nonsense. Their leader signaled for his men to act, but I was faster. A pebble shot through the air. One man dropped to one knee. The kidnapper leader grimaced and turned to glare at me. I leaned against the wall beside me, tossing a pebble in one hand. When the kidnapper turned toward me, I flicked my hand. The stone struck him. His grip loosened, and what he held fell to the ground. The hostage took off running, but the remaining men instantly surrounded him. Get him. We thought this kid looked weak as a kitten, so we did not take him seriously. Who knew he would actually play the hero? I casually watched the kidnappers approach me. The kidnapper leader swung a fist at me. I pulled out the numbing spray I carried with me and swiftly subdued the kidnappers. Their legs gave out and they all collapsed to the ground. The kidnappers stared at their bodies in horror. Boss, my whole body is numb. I cannot move. I sighed. During my world hopping days, I learned many skills. My self-defense skills were exceptional, and I knew a little about pressure points too. I checked the time. It was so late. Would I be disturbing my Shuyi? I decided to end this quickly. Only then did the kidnapper leader realize something was wrong. He could only watch his men fall around him. The hostage was overjoyed. Brother, I had no idea you could do that. Why did you not jump in right away? I was scared to death. Thank you for saving me, brother. The man instantly relaxed. Then he walked toward me without a care. Hello, my name is Wang Cage. I had just left my father's company when these men grabbed me. Wang Cage viciously kicked one of the kidnappers on the ground. Then he noticed the man's eyes were open. Startled, he jumped aside and accidentally stepped on another man's hand. The other man's eyes nearly bulged from the pain. The man waved awkwardly. Sorry, I did not mean to. Wait. Why am I apologizing? I simply watched him in silence. I picked up the bat from the ground and lightly tapped Wang Cage's shoulder. Wang Cage suddenly felt pitiful, weak, and helpless. His savior had turned on him. Hey, handsome, let us talk this out. Put that down. Wang Cage's face scrunched up in panic. That will not do. You are a hostage worth a fortune. If you run away, would I not be taking a huge loss? Then I leisurely took out my phone and called the bodyguards. After explaining the situation to the bodyguards who quickly arrived, I coolly left with my new friend, Wang Cage. I looked up Wang Cage's information on my phone. Other than learning he was the Wang group's only son, I found nothing else. Why did those people want to kidnap Wang Cage and pin the blame on my Shuyi? The Wang family mainly worked in the cosmetics industry. Gu Shuyi's company focused on finance. The two groups had no business dealings. I shoved Wang Cage into a taxi and arrived outside Gu Shuyi Group's headquarters. I had him sit on the steps nearby. He was covered in dust. Then we headed toward the building. A security guard immediately stepped forward. Hello, unauthorized visitors must leave. Sorry, but I need to take this man to see President Gu. Could you please step aside? The guard looked at me as if I were an idiot. So I said, fine, I will just stand here. I will not disturb anyone. I prepared to call Gu Shuyi and ask her to send someone down for me. The guard reached out and shoved me, trying to force me out. His eyes were filled with open disdain. I have seen plenty of people like you. Stop fantasizing. The president is so busy. Why would she have time to see you? I frowned, then moved aside a little, with no intention of leaving. The guard's expression darkened. Just then, a woman walked over. What is going on? Why are you making a scene at the entrance? It reflects badly on the company. The guard hurriedly explained. This man insists on seeing the president, but he does not have an appointment. I was about to send him away, but he refuses to leave. His tone was respectful. The woman sized me up. Young man, why try to get her attention this way? Too many people are trying to get close to her. What you are doing breaks the rules. Leave now. The woman rolled her eyes after speaking. I was thoroughly irritated. I fired back without holding back. Did you eat something rotten for dinner? Why does your mouth stink so badly? The woman gave a scornful laugh. Someone, escort these two out. I raised a hand to stop the approaching guards. Is this how Gu Group executives judge people without knowing the facts? I want to see Gu Shuyi, not hit on her. Someone paid a fortune to have Wang Cage, the Wang Group's only son, abducted and pin the blame on your President Gu. Are you sure you want to throw me out and delay something important for President Gu? The woman's face changed abruptly. She clearly had not expected me to mention Wang Cage's name. She looked me over. The Wang family held considerable influence in the cosmetics industry. If they truly became embroiled in a dispute with Gu Group, the consequences would be unthinkable. She sized me up again, then looked at Wang Cage, slumped listlessly on the ground. She hesitated. What nonsense are you talking about? How could President Gu be involved in a corruption scandal? Whether it is nonsense or not, have President Gu come down and see for herself. I dusted myself off. I just subdued the kidnappers. They admitted someone used Miss Gu's name to order the attack. If you throw me out now, and the kidnappers change their story, or the Wang family demands answers, can you bear that responsibility? Employees nearby stopped to watch. The woman was caught in a bind, her face turning green, then white. Just then, a cool, familiar voice came from the lobby elevators. What is all this noise? Relief washed over me. I turned to look. Shuyi walked toward me. She radiated cool, distant elegance. The executive saw her and immediately lost her arrogance. She quickly lowered her head. President Gu, this man forced his way into the company and falsely accused you of involvement in a criminal case. I was about to remove him. Shuyi's gaze fell on me. Her icy eyes instantly softened. She hurried to my side and gently took my hand. A-Chen, why are you here? Are you hurt? Everyone around us was stunned. No one expected this business titan, President Gu, to treat someone like me, an ordinary-looking young man, with such intimacy. I clasped her hand in return and leaned close to her ear. I whispered, Shuyi, someone is framing you. I brought the witness. I pointed at Wang Cage on the ground. A trace of coldness flashed in Shuyi's eyes. Then she looked at the executive. You drove away my man without knowing the facts, and you caused a scene in the company lobby. Your conduct seriously violates company policy and professional ethics. The company has decided to fire you. Please complete the required exit paperwork. The executive turned deathly pale and repeatedly begged for mercy, but security dragged her up. Those who break the law will face justice. That is the inevitable outcome of justice. Shuyi signaled for her assistant to take Wang Cage to the lounge, then dismissed the watching employees. Only the two of us remained in the lobby. She brushed the dust from my shoulder and softly asked, what happened? I never ordered anyone to target the Wang family. I leaned against the wall and told her everything that had happened in the alley. The kidnappers were paid a fortune to seriously harm Wang Cage. They even claimed you were behind it. The Wang family is in cosmetics, while you work in finance. There is no connection between you. Someone is clearly trying to drive a wedge between you and ruin your reputation. Shuyi thought for a moment, then blurted out, it is Duan Mutian, just as I thought. My heart tightened. The man who ruined my life in my past life was trying the same trick in this one, using underhanded means to destroy us. I held Shuyi's hand, my voice firm. Duan Mutian's crimes will be pursued to the fullest extent of the law. Shuyi nodded gently, her eyes full of trust. I believe you. A-Chen. Wang Cage soon woke up when he learned he had been framed and that I was the one who had saved him. He was overwhelmed with gratitude. He immediately contacted his parents and explained the truth. The Wang family promptly issued a statement clarifying that they had no dispute with Gu Group. It had been maliciously orchestrated by someone else. Meanwhile, following the clues I provided, the bodyguards followed the trail straight to the mastermind, Duan Mutian. Duan Mutian had learned that I had latched onto Shuyi, afraid his deeds would be exposed. He wanted to use the Wang family to crush Gu Group, so he could swallow up the Gu family. That was why he planned the kidnapping, hoping to kill two birds with one stone. The bodyguards moved swiftly and arrested Duan Mutian at the Duan family villa. They also uncovered the crimes he had committed over the years. Butler Li, his accomplice, was taken away as well. In court, the evidence was conclusive. Duan Mutian was convicted of framing others, kidnapping, unlawful detention, and more. He was sentenced to life in prison. Butler Li had mistreated the Duan family for years, embezzled their assets, and helped Duan Mutian commit his crimes. With all charges combined, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. He could never again use power to bully others. As for the executive who had made things difficult for me at Gu Group, she abused her authority and damaged the company's reputation. She was not only fired, but also blacklisted by the industry. She could never work in finance again, paying for her snobbery and arrogance. As for Tang Feiyu, who had mocked Yexing at the company, he used unethical means to seize resources and suppress colleagues. After netizens exposed him, the entire industry rejected him. He left the entertainment industry for good and could never cause trouble again. The artists who betrayed Yexing were deceived by third-rate agencies and could only struggle at the bottom. But Yexing stayed true to himself and treated me with sincerity. With the resources Shuyi gave me and the foresight my rebirth gave me, I landed hit drama after hit drama. I rose from an unknown actor to a top star and best actor. I never changed managers, and Yexing rose with me. He escaped the threat of being fired and became the industry's most sought-after talent manager. His family was happy, his career flourished, and he lived a stable, fulfilling life. To thank me, the Wang family formed a strategic partnership with Gu Group. They joined forces across industries to launch an innovative cosmetics and finance model. Business thrived, becoming a celebrated business success story. Shuyi and I finally escaped the tragedy of our past life and embraced a fulfilling life. The sunlight was perfect that day. I held Shuyi's hand on the rooftop of Gu Group, looking down at the city's bustling traffic below. I rested my head on her shoulder and whispered, Shuyi, I was so foolish before. I made you suffer so much. Shuyi turned around and gently embraced me. Her almond-shaped eyes were filled with tenderness. We will never be apart again. I looked at her. You used to protect me. From now on, I will protect you. I am no longer someone who needs your shelter. I am the lover who can stand beside you. Together, we will make Gu Group even greater. Together, We will cherish each other, year after year, never to part. Shuyi nodded with a smile. Tears slid down her cheeks. They were tears of happiness. I reached out and wiped away her tears, then lowered my head and gently kissed her lips. Sunlight poured over us, warm and dazzling. I had weathered countless trials while hopping from world to world. I thought rebirth was only meant to mend my regrets, but not until I met Shuyi did I understand rebirth's greatest purpose: to protect the one you love, to let kindness be rewarded, and let evil face the law's punishment. Now, villains like Duan, Mutian, and Butler were behind bars. Good people like Yexing and the Wang family had bright futures. Shuyi and I loved and stood by each other. We found success in both love and life. All the beauty in this world arrived as promised. I, A-Chen, was reborn. In this life, I will let no one down, neither my beloved nor my true friends. Evil was punished, and goodness upheld. At last, everything was complete. For the rest of my life, I will stand with Shuyi, hold fast to what is right, keep kindness in my heart, and write our happy life with love and warmth.